Yeah, so this is one of the most important questions, right? Is sort of there's sort of two questions. It's like, how do people decide who to trust and who do they trust and how is it changing? So the story that the deep state, for lack of a better word, and the elites told after 2016, the story was voters are really gullible. The Russians are doing disinformation. Anybody can make anything go viral. People are more likely to believe falsehoods than truths. Falsehoods travel faster than truths. That all turned out to be a lie. Like one of the most important psychological findings, there's a whole book I just read about this, going over this, is that actually people are very slow to change their minds. Most people are not super open-minded. Most people are very skeptical of new information. So that was one very important finding. If anything, I think we would say people are a little bit too slow to change their mind. They should be a little bit more open-minded. But without any of that judgment, this picture of people as like gullible and believing everything they see is just false. It's been absolutely disproven in the academic research. The other issue is that are people online creating bubbles of information? Turns out much less than people who are not getting their information online.
Really?
If you are watching MSNBC all day and you're not on Twitter, you're not getting a wide variety of sources. If you're on Twitter, you're getting a lot of them. And I will say Elon's changes to Twitter have made it better. We have these two columns on X, right, formerly Twitter. One of them is the people you follow, and the other one is for you. I love the for you. I think it's gotten better. That's the recommendation algorithm that everybody's obsessed with. I like the people I'm following, but the for you is great. And then sometimes I might even follow one of the for you people, and then I'm like, it's too much of them. I'd rather have the recommendation engine offer stuff to me. On this political crisis, my response, and I'm not suggesting this was other people's, but I think it's one that people could consider. I followed a lot more progressive and democratic and mainstream media voices than I had before, because I really, in a moment where I was starting to cover politics more, I was like, I just need more sources. And so I've been doing a lot more following and unfollowing. I think the other thing, though, that's changed is that there used to be the kind of voice of God approach from journalism embodied by Walter Cronkite, and the TV stations continue to chase that wrongly.
That's the way it is.
And that's the way it is. And I think that's very bad. I think it's very outdated. I think it's actually fragilizes what they're trying to do. A more robust approach is the approach taken by two major media figures, Joe Rogan on the one hand, Elon Musk on the other. They both admit that they don't know things. They both admit that they're wrong. They both ask questions. Elon has done some tweets that he would admit were not great, and he's apologized for them, regretted them, deleted them. We asked about some of them. That's role model behavior. I mean, that's good behavior. I agree with. I wrote 2 books, and in my books, I talked about how wrong I was about these issues in my previous years and what I've learned. I think that's very, very important for people to do. So we need, I think it's also strategic in the sense that I think if you want to have influence, it's good to admit your fallibility. It's good to admit that you don't know things, that you've made mistakes, and to actually talk about why you made those mistakes, what those biases were. We trust people that have some self-awareness. So I think that we're headed towards a relationship to expertise that is really different from the one that pervaded after World War II until the beginning of this century.